Okay, so Bitcoin is going bonkers right now
Yeah. Yeah.
on some exchanges.
Really surging.
It's over 107,000 already.
Yeah, 107,000.
So we are going to dive deep into what's causing this and a bunch of other crazy developments in the crypto world.
Yeah.
We're looking at a recent episode of Crypto and Coffee at 8.
Yeah.
And even if you think you know crypto, I think you're going to find some interesting stuff in here.
Yeah, it's a wild time.
So let's jump right in.
Yeah, let's do it.
So first of all, the big question everybody's asking, why is Bitcoin going up like this?
Yeah, it's not just one single factor driving this price surge. It's a combination of things.
Okay.
You've got President Trump back in the White House, and he's been a big supporter of Bitcoin.
Right.
Plus, everyone's waiting to see what the Federal Reserve's going to do about interest rates, which could have a huge impact on all the markets.
And then you also have like the big players, the whales. They're buying up Bitcoin like crazy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like MicroStrategy. They basically
Yeah.
seem like they're all in on Bitcoin. They just bought another 15,350 Bitcoin.
Wow.
And that's on top of the almost 425,000 they already had.
Yeah, they are really loading up.
So what do you think that says about how these big institutions are viewing Bitcoin's future?
Well, it definitely suggests that at least some of these major players see Bitcoin as more than just a speculative asset.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at it as a legitimate store of value.
Mm-hmm.
MicroStrategy's CEO, Michael Saylor, has been very vocal about his belief in Bitcoin,
Yeah.
and their actions definitely back that up.
It makes you think, is this the beginning of Bitcoin finally going mainstream?
Yeah, it's an interesting question for sure.
Or is this just all hype?
Well, I guess only time will tell.
I guess we'll see.
But speaking of going mainstream, there's
Yeah.
some big news on the accounting front.
Okay.
I know accounting might sound a bit boring, but this is actually a huge development.
Okay.
The FASB, the Financial Accounting Standards Board, has issued new standards specifically for crypto assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum.
So up to now, companies could kind of like hide their Bitcoin under the mattress, so to speak.
Well, maybe not literally under the mattress, but
Figuratively.
figuratively, yeah.
Yeah.
The lack of standardized accounting practices definitely made it harder to track and understand a company's crypto exposure.
Right.
These new standards are going to require companies to be much more transparent about their crypto holdings.
Okay, so more transparency, less guesswork for investors.
Exactly.
But this only applies to certain types of crypto, right?
That's right. The new standards focus specifically on what are called fungible crypto assets.
Okay.
That means assets that are interchangeable like Bitcoin or Ethereum.
Okay.
So things like NFTs, which are unique and non-interchangeable, those are outside the scope of these standards for now.
So it seems like the focus is really on establishing clear guidelines for those more widely held cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. While we're talking about transparency, the Crypto and Coffee at 8 host also mentioned some news about Exodus, the crypto wallet provider.
Yes, Exodus Movement is going public on the New York Stock Exchange American.
So what does that mean for Exodus and for the crypto world in general?
Well, for Exodus, it means more exposure and potentially a lot more investors.
Okay.
And for the crypto world as a whole, it could be a big step towards mainstream acceptance.
It's almost like they're sneaking crypto into the financial system, one listing at a time.
Yeah, in a way.
Do you think this is a sign of things to come?
It's hard to say for sure, but it's definitely a step in that direction. As more crypto companies go public and start interacting with traditional financial institutions, it could really pave the way for greater integration of crypto into the mainstream financial system.
Okay, but there's still a lot of regulatory hurdles to overcome, right?
Oh, absolutely. There's
Right.
still a long way to go.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So while all that's playing out, there's a lot of other action happening in the stablecoin market.
Yeah, that's another area that's really heating up.
Yeah. The Crypto and Coffee at 8 host was pretty excited about Ripple launching its own stablecoin, RLUSD.
Yeah, RLUSD is pegged to the US dollar, just like other stablecoins. But what makes it interesting is that it's designed to work on both the XRP ledger and the Ethereum blockchain.
Okay, so it's like covering all your bases.
Yeah, exactly.
The podcast mentioned things like cross-border payments and even tokenized asset trading.
Mm-hmm.
Is Ripple trying to take on Tether and USD coin like the big players in the stablecoin world?
It certainly looks that way. Ripple already has a strong presence in the cross-border payment space.
Right.
So launching a stablecoin could be a natural extension of that.
But the stablecoin market is very competitive.
Oh, incredibly competitive.
So it'll be interesting to see if RLUSD can actually gain some traction.
Yeah, it'll be a tough battle.
Speaking of competition, there's another stablecoin making waves.
What's that?
USDTB, and I gotta admit, this one sounds a little complicated.
Yeah, USDTB is backed by BlackRock.
Okay, the huge investment firm.
Yes, the world's largest asset manager.
Okay.
And it's backed through a tokenized money market fund.
So it's like a stablecoin with like a Wall Street pedigree.
Exactly. The goal of USDTB is to help stabilize Athena's main token, which is called USDE,
Okay.
especially during times when the crypto market is very volatile.
So it's kind of a way to reduce risk and try to keep the price steady.
Exactly.
What do you think about this whole trend of these stable coins backed by traditional financial institutions?
Well, it's an interesting development for sure.
Yeah.
On the one hand, it could bring more stability to the crypto market and attract more mainstream investors.
Right.
But on the other hand, some people might worry that it goes against the whole decentralized spirit of crypto.
It's a trade-off, right?
It is. It's a question of what's more important, stability or decentralization.
All right, well, before we go too far down this stablecoin rabbit hole, let's shift our focus a bit and talk about Dubai.
Yeah, Dubai's going all in on crypto these days.
It really seems like they are. So the Crypto and Coffee at 8 episode mentioned Bitpanda, which is a European crypto platform, and they just got approval from Dubai's Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority to enter the UAE market.
That's a big deal. Getting approval from VAR is not easy. They have very high standards when it comes to compliance and security.
Right.
So it shows that Bitpanda is really serious about making Dubai a key part of their global strategy.
Yeah, and Dubai seems like a good place to be if you're in the crypto world right now.
Oh, absolutely. The UAE, especially Dubai, has a very thriving crypto ecosystem.
Yeah.
They've got a supportive regulatory environment, a growing user base, and a lot of enthusiasm for blockchain technology.
The podcast host even called Dubai a red ocean because there's so much competition in the crypto space there.
Yeah, but he actually said that that's a good thing for users
Let's go.
because it leads to better prices and services.
So it's like the free market at work.
Exactly. Competition drives innovation.
Okay, so Dubai is embracing crypto, but they're also embracing AI in a big way.
Oh, yeah. They're really pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI.
So the podcast talked about this company called Founder, and they've developed this AI-powered platform that can automate 90% of the process of setting up a company in Dubai.
It's pretty amazing. It can analyze your business model, check if you meet all the legal requirements,
Wow.
recommend the best company structure for you, and even help you apply for visas.
So it's like having a virtual business consultant.
Exactly.
So it even helps with visas.
Yeah, it's really trying to make the whole process as smooth and efficient as possible.
What kind of AI is this? Are we talking robots signing paperwork?
Well, not quite robot signing paperwork yet,
Okay.
but it does use natural language processing, machine learning, and data analysis to understand your business and guide you through the process.
So it's not just filling in forms. It's actually understanding your business and making intelligent suggestions.
That's right. It's about providing personalized support and automation.
What do you think about using AI to handle such important tasks?
Well, it's certainly a powerful tool.
Yeah.
And I think for someone who's comfortable with technology, it could be a great option. But for someone who's more traditional, it might feel a bit unsettling to hand over such a big decision to an AI.
I could see that. So Dubai is embracing AI for business, but what about the potential downsides?
Well, like any powerful technology, AI has the potential to be used for harmful purposes
Right.
if it's not developed and deployed responsibly. The podcast host raised some concerns about the potential for AI to be used to manipulate people even without them realizing it.
Yeah, he gave the example of an AI system tricking someone into revealing their password.
Exactly.
That's a bit creepy.
Yeah, it highlights the importance of ethical considerations in AI development. We need to make sure that AI systems are designed and used in ways that benefit humanity.
So it's not just about building cool technology. It's about building technology that's aligned with our values.
Exactly.
Okay, so as we move into this AI-powered world, what are some key things that listeners should keep in mind?
Well, I think the most important thing is to remember that AI is a tool. It can be used for good or bad, and it's up to us to guide its development.
All right, it's not inherently good or evil.
Exactly.
What else?
Be aware of the potential for bias in AI systems. AI is trained on data, and if that data is biased, the AI will reflect those biases.
Okay, so always question the information you receive from an AI,
Yeah.
especially if it seems to be confirming your existing beliefs.
Yeah, exactly. Protect your personal information. Be cautious about sharing sensitive data with AI systems. And finally, don't be afraid to experiment and learn.
Okay.
AI is a rapidly evolving field, and the best way to understand it is to engage with it.
Play around with the AI tools. Ask questions. Challenge the assumptions.
Exactly. The more we understand about AI, the better equipped we'll be to harness its potential and mitigate its risks.
Okay, so be aware, be cautious, and be curious.
Exactly.
All right, but before we go too deep down the AI rabbit hole, let's circle back to the technology that started this whole crypto craze in the first place.
Blockchain.
Yeah, blockchain. The podcast host actually had some pretty strong opinions about the limitations of blockchain technology.
Yeah, he was very skeptical about the widespread applicability of blockchain beyond its current use cases.
Like Bitcoin and NFTs.
Right. He even said beyond Bitcoin meme coins, maybe NFTs, I don't really see the use case of blockchain technology as such.
So is he saying that blockchain is a one-trick pony?
Well, he's not alone in his skepticism. Some experts argue that while blockchain is revolutionary for cryptocurrencies, it might not be the right solution for every problem.
So we need to be realistic about what blockchain can and can't do.
Exactly.
It's a powerful tool, but we shouldn't try to force it into every situation.
I agree with that.
Are there any real-world use cases for blockchain beyond crypto?
There are definitely some areas where blockchain has potential.
Like what?
Things like supply chain management, digital identity verification, secure data storage.
Okay.
But the challenge is finding applications where blockchain offers a clear advantage over existing solutions.
So it's about finding the right tool for the job.
Exactly.
Not just using blockchain for everything.
Yep.
The podcast host actually suggested that maybe AI needs blockchain more than blockchain needs AI.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought.
He proposed this idea of storing the source code of AI systems on the blockchain
Okay.
to promote transparency and prevent tampering.
Yeah, so it would be like a public ledger for AI.
Right, holding developers accountable for their creations.
Yeah, that's a pretty radical idea.
It is, but it makes you think about the potential for blockchain to go beyond just financial applications.
Yes, it really does.
But for now, it seems like blockchain's most successful application is still in the world of cryptocurrency.
Yeah, for now.
And with Bitcoin hitting new all-time highs, it's clear that crypto is here to stay.
It's a testament to the power of decentralized technologies and the growing desire for alternative financial systems.
So whether you're a seasoned investor or just curious about the future of finance, crypto is definitely a space worth watching. Okay, so we've covered Bitcoin's wild ride, new accounting standards, trying to keep up stablecoins battling for dominance, Dubai going all in on crypto and AI, and even the potential of blockchain to revolutionize AI development.
Wow, that's a lot.
That is a lot. Is there anything else from the Crypto and Coffee at 8 episode that we should touch on before we move on?
Yeah, actually, there is one more thing I think is worth mentioning.
Okay.
The podcast host touched on the topic of quantum computing and its potential impact on blockchain technology, specifically Bitcoin.
Oh, right. Quantum computing. That's the stuff that's supposed to be able to break all our encryption and cause global chaos, right?
Well, it's a bit more nuanced than that. Quantum computers are still in their early stages of development,
Okay.
but they do have the potential to solve certain types of problems much faster than classical computers,
Okay.
including the mathematical problems that underpin Bitcoin's security.
So is Bitcoin doomed?
Not necessarily. While quantum computers could potentially pose a threat to Bitcoin's security in the future, there are also ongoing efforts to develop quantum-resistant cryptography.
So it's like a race between the code breakers and the code makers.
Exactly.
And a race that will have major implications for the future of blockchain technology and cryptocurrency.
For sure.
That's definitely something to keep an eye on. So it seems like the future of crypto is as uncertain as it is exciting.
You said it. The world of crypto is constantly evolving, and it's a fascinating space to watch even if you're not an investor.
Well, that wraps up part 1 of our deep dive into the latest crypto and AI developments.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground, from Bitcoin's price surge to Dubai's crypto ambitions to the potential impact of quantum computing.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind.
But we're not done yet. We've got plenty more to unpack in part 2, where we'll explore.
Stay tuned. So welcome back to our deep dive into all the latest happening in crypto and AI.
Yeah, we left off on a bit of a cliffhanger there.
We did.
Talking about quantum computers and, cracking Bitcoin's code.
Yeah.
It sounds like some serious sci-fi stuff.
Yeah. It's definitely a fascinating field. It's rapidly evolving, too.
Right.
Quantum computers operate on entirely different principles than the computers that we use every day.
Okay.
And they have this potential to solve certain problems exponentially faster than classical computers.
Right.
Which could have big implications for cryptography,
Yeah.
including the algorithms that underpin Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies.
So if these quantum computers become powerful enough, could they actually, break Bitcoin?
It is a possibility that researchers are actively looking into, but it's not a foregone conclusion,
Okay.
The development of quantum-resistant cryptography is also advancing pretty rapidly.
So it's like a race.
It is. It's a race between the code breakers and the code makers.
Okay, so what are the chances that quantum computers will actually be able to crack Bitcoin's code?
It's hard to say for sure.
Yeah.
Predictions about technology are always a bit tricky, but some experts believe that it could be years, if not decades, before we have practical quantum computers that are actually capable of doing that.
Okay, so it's kind of a wait-and-see situation, but it's something worth paying attention to.
Absolutely.
So if quantum computers do become a real threat to Bitcoin, what does that mean for the future of crypto?
It could lead to a major shift.
Okay.
We might see a move towards brand new cryptocurrencies that are specifically designed to be quantum resistant.
Okay.
Or, we might see existing cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin undergo some major upgrades to make them more secure.
So the whole crypto world might need to go through another major transformation.
It might. It's hard to say for sure, but yeah, it's definitely a possibility.
It's crazy to think about. So it seems like in crypto, the only constant is change.
It really does seem that way.
All right, so let's talk a bit more about the potential impact of AI, not just on crypto, but on our lives more generally.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are feeling kind of a mix of excitement and anxiety about AI.
I think that's a pretty common sentiment.
Yeah.
On the one hand, you have these amazing advancements.
Right.
Like AI that can automate complex tasks and even create art.
But then on the other hand, you have those kind of dystopian sci-fi movies.
Right, where the robots take over.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's understandable that people have mixed feelings about it.
For sure. So how do we navigate this AI revolution in a way that's both beneficial and also safe?
I think the key is to approach AI with a balanced perspective.
Okay.
Recognize both its potential and its limitations.
So it's not about blindly embracing AI, but it's also not about rejecting it outright.
Exactly.
It's about understanding it, guiding its development, and making sure it's used ethically and responsibly.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay, so how do we actually do that? How do we ensure that AI is used for good?
Well, I think it starts with having open and honest conversations about the potential impact of AI. Not just among technologists and policymakers, but also with the public.
So we need to be having these conversations at the dinner table.
Exactly.
In classrooms, in boardrooms, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
The future of AI is going to be shaped by the choices that we make collectively.
So everyone needs to have a voice.
Everyone needs to have a voice in these decisions.
One of the things the podcast host talked about that I thought was really interesting was the idea that AI could be used to manipulate people without them even realizing it.
Yeah, that's a scary thought.
Yeah, he gave the example of an AI system that could trick someone into revealing their password.
Right.
It makes you wonder if we're already being manipulated by AI in ways that we don't even know.
It's possible. As AI gets more sophisticated, it's getting better at understanding human psychology and behavior. And that knowledge can be used for good.
Yeah,
But it can also be used for more nefarious purposes.
So we need to be extra vigilant, especially as AI becomes more integrated into our daily lives.
Yeah, we need to develop a new set of digital literacy skills.
Almost.
To navigate this AI-powered world.
Yeah, it's like a new set of rules for the road.
Exactly.
But let's not get too doom and gloom here, because AI also has this incredible potential to do a lot of good in the world.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's already being used in healthcare to diagnose diseases, in education to personalize learning, and many other fields to solve complex problems.
So it's really about finding that balance.
Yes.
That sweet spot where we can benefit from AI's capabilities without becoming slaves to it.
Finding that balance is going to be the key.
And that's where ethics come in.
Ethics are crucial.
Yeah, because we need to make sure that AI is aligned with our values as a society.
Absolutely.
So if we're talking about ethics and AI, we have to talk about bias.
Yeah.
Right?
Bias is a major concern. AI systems are only as good as the data they're trained on. So if that data reflects existing societal biases, the AI is going to perpetuate those biases.
And that could have real-world consequences.
Absolutely. Like in hiring decisions or loan applications.
Things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do we address bias in AI?
Well, it needs to be addressed at every stage of the AI development process.
Okay.
From data collection and cleaning to algorithm design and testing.
So it's not just about the tech itself. It's about the people behind the tech
It is.
and the choices that they make.
Yeah, and that brings us back to the idea of open source AI,
Right.
which we touched on a bit earlier.
Yeah, the podcast host was really into that.
He was.
He was a big proponent of open sourcing AI
Yes, making the source code of these systems publicly available.
so that anyone can look at it.
Exactly.
Okay, why is that so important?
Well, it promotes transparency,
Okay.
and it can help prevent bias.
Because more people can look at it and be like, hey, this is biased.
Yeah, more eyes on the code.
Okay, I like that.
It can help identify and correct those biases before they become embedded in the system.
So it's like crowdsourcing the development of ethical AI.
It's tapping into the collective wisdom of the tech community.
Okay, so open source AI, addressing bias, having these difficult conversations about ethics, all of that seems like really crucial steps towards building a future where AI is a force for good.
I agree with you. We're still in the early stages of this AI revolution, and we have a lot to learn.
For sure.
But if we approach AI with a sense of responsibility, a commitment to ethics, and a willingness to collaborate, I think we can harness its power to create a better world.
Okay, so it's not all doom and gloom.
No, not at all.
We have the power to shape the future of AI.
We do. The future of AI is not predetermined.
Yeah.
It's up to us to write the story.
All right, so we've talked about the potential for quantum computers to disrupt crypto,
Right.
the need for ethical and responsible AI development, and the importance of addressing bias. Is there anything else from the Crypto and Coffee at 8 episode that we should touch on?
Well, he spent some time discussing the concept of Web3.
Oh, yeah. Web3.
Yeah.
That's one of those buzzwords that I keep hearing.
It is a buzzword.
But I don't really know what it means.
It's understandable. It's a complex concept, and it's still evolving.
Okay, so can you break it down for me?
I'll try. So at its core, Web3 is about building a more decentralized and user-centric internet.
Okay, so it's like the internet, but different.
Yeah, it's like taking the internet as we know it and reimagining it.
Okay.
With a focus on decentralization and user empowerment.
So it's kind of like taking power away from the big tech companies like the Googles and the Facebooks of the world.
Yeah, that's one way to think about it.
And giving that power back to the people.
Exactly. Web3 is often associated with blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies.
Okay.
Which are seen as key building blocks for creating those decentralized systems.
So are we talking about a future where Facebook and Google are replaced by decentralized blockchain-powered platforms?
It's a possibility, although it's still early days for Web3.
Okay.
There are a lot of technical and social challenges to overcome before we see a truly decentralized internet.
So is Web3 just hype, or is it something we should be taking seriously?
I think it's a trend worth paying attention to.
Okay.
Whether it fully lives up to the hype remains to be seen. But it does represent a growing movement towards decentralization and user empowerment online.
Okay, so Web3 is about decentralizing the internet and giving more power to users.
In a nutshell, yes.
But that still sounds kind of vague.
It does, I understand.
What are some concrete examples of Web3?
Okay, so one example is decentralized finance, or DeFi.
Okay, I've heard of DeFi.
Yeah, so DeFi aims to create a more open and accessible financial system.
Right.
DeFi applications are built on blockchains, and they allow users to lend, borrow, and trade cryptocurrencies without the need for traditional financial intermediaries like banks.
So it's like cutting out the middleman.
Exactly.
Okay.
Another interesting area is decentralized social media.
Okay.
So imagine social media platforms that are owned and governed by their users rather than by a single company.
So like no more Mark Zuckerberg.
Potentially, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
These platforms could be more resistant to censorship and manipulation. Right.
And they could give users more control over their data and their online identities.
Yeah, because right now, a few companies have so much power.
They do.
It's kind of scary to think about.
It is. It's a lot of power concentrated in a few hands.
And Web3 is trying to change that.
Web3 is trying to distribute that power.
Okay, so decentralized finance, decentralized social media, what else?
There are many other potential applications for Web3.
Like what?
Things like decentralized gaming, supply chain management, digital identity verification.
It seems like the potential applications of Web3 are kind of limitless.
They are. It's a very exciting space.
What about the challenges?
Right.
You mentioned earlier that there are some technical and social hurdles to overcome.
Yes. So one of the biggest technical challenges is scalability.
Okay, what does that mean?
So blockchain networks can be slow and expensive to use.
Okay.
Especially when they become very popular.
So if everyone starts using Web3 applications, the whole system could, like, crash.
Potentially, yeah. It's a risk.
Developers are working on solutions to this problem,
Okay.
but it's still a major challenge.
What about the social challenges?
So one of the biggest social challenges is user adoption.
Okay, what do you mean?
So Web3 applications can be complex and difficult to use,
Right.
especially for people who are not already familiar with blockchain technology.
Yeah, most people just want things to be simple and easy to use.
Exactly. They don't want to have to become blockchain experts just to use social media or manage their finances.
So making Web3 applications more user-friendly is really important.
It's crucial for mainstream adoption.
What else?
Another challenge is governance.
Okay.
Decentralized systems require new forms of governance to ensure that they're fair, transparent, and accountable.
So if there's no central authority who's making the decisions?
That's the big question.
Yeah.
And there are various approaches to decentralized governance,
Okay.
such as using blockchain-based voting systems
Right.
or creating decentralized autonomous organizations, or DAOs.
Right, so there are a lot of complex issues to work through.
There are. It's a very challenging space.
But it sounds like the potential benefits of Web3 are pretty significant.
They are.
Yeah.
It could create a more open, equitable, and user-centric internet, giving people more control over their data and their online experiences.
So whether or not it fully lives up to the hype, it's something to watch.
It is. It's a fascinating development.
Okay, so we've got quantum computers potentially disrupting crypto AI, raising ethical questions and requiring responsible development, and Web3 promising a more decentralized internet.
It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing to think about all of this stuff.
It is. We're living in a time of rapid technological change, and it's both exciting and daunting.
Yeah, for sure. So what's the takeaway for our listeners?
Well, I think the choices we make today are going to shape the world of tomorrow.
Right.
So it's crucial that we approach these technologies with a sense of responsibility,
Okay.
a commitment to ethics, and a willingness to engage in open and honest conversations about their potential impact.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about the human impact.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that these powerful technologies are used to benefit humanity and not to harm it.
That's a great point.
Technology is ultimately a tool,
Right.
and its impact on the world will be determined by the choices that we make collectively.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this part of our deep dive.
We have.
We've explored quantum computing, ethical AI, and Web3. But we're not done yet.
No, we're not.
We've got one more part to go
Okay.
where we'll shift our focus to. So we've talked about Bitcoin going crazy and stablecoins battling it out and Dubai's crypto dreams and AI
Yep, it's a lot.
and even Web3.
A lot to wrap your head around.
It's like we've taken a crash course in the future of tech.
Yeah, it is.
But I want to make sure we bring it back to our listeners.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Like, what does all this stuff actually mean for someone who's listening to this right now?
Well, I think the most important thing to remember is that all of this isn't happening in some far-off future, you know?
Right.
It's happening now.
Yeah.
And it's already impacting our lives in ways we might not even realize.
So what are some key takeaways that listeners can actually use
You know, in their own lives.
in their work,
Yeah, in their work.
their investments?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, man, this crypto stuff sounds interesting,
Yeah.
the first step is to just stay informed.
Okay.
The world of crypto is changing so fast.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up.
It is. You know what? What you knew yesterday might be outdated today.
So where do you even start? Like, how do you stay informed?
Well, the Crypto and Coffee at 8 podcast is a great resource for daily updates.
Yeah.
But don't just stop there. You know, read articles, follow industry experts, join some online communities.
Okay, so get information from a variety of sources.
Yeah, build a healthy news diet, but for crypto.
I like that crypto news diet.
Yeah.
What else should listeners be looking out for?
Definitely keep an eye on the regulatory landscape. You know, governments around the world are still figuring out how to approach crypto, and new regulations can have a big impact on the market.
Yeah, they definitely can. And of course, if you're thinking about investing in crypto, do your research.
Always do your research.
Don't just jump in because you heard Bitcoin is going up.
Right.
Invest wisely. Only what you can afford to lose.
Absolutely.
Be prepared for some ups and downs.
The market can be very volatile.
Yeah, for sure. So even if you're not investing in crypto, it's worth thinking about how these technologies could affect your career or your industry.
Absolutely. AI and blockchain aren't just about finance.
Right.
They have the potential to disrupt pretty much every industry.
So is your company thinking about blockchain?
Yeah.
Are there AI tools that could help you automate tasks or enhance your skills?
It's time to start thinking about these things and how you can adapt.
So don't just sit back and wait for the future to happen. Get out there and learn about these technologies.
Experiment with them.
See how you can use them.
Yeah, be proactive.
And remember, it's not just about the tech itself.
Right.
It's about the human impact. As AI gets more integrated into our lives, we need to be having those conversations.
Absolutely.
About ethics, about bias, about how we want to live in an AI-powered world.
Those conversations are crucial.
Yeah. So stay informed, stay curious, and most importantly, stay engaged.
Yeah.
Don't let the future just happen to you.
Shape the future.
Help shape it. I love that.
Well, this deep dive has been a wild ride.
It has.
Exploring the cutting edge of crypto AI and blockchain.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground.
Bitcoin breaking records, Dubai going all in on crypto, the potential of AI, the promise of Web3.
And the risks.
Yeah, the risks too.
We can't forget about those.
But this is really just the beginning of the conversation.
It is. The world of technology is constantly changing.
Always something new to learn.
So keep exploring, keep learning, keep questioning.
Couldn't said it better myself.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Until next time.